Oh, shoot. I had the wrong thing up. Hey, what's up? Oh, I got this in front of us. My bad. Hey, Nay, what's up, boo?
Hi. Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you? So listen, the people have been asking for Benji, so you're gonna have to find a way to get Benji on screen, okay? You don't have to do it today, but the people have been asking about Benji.
He is laying on a bed, and the funny thing is, before we took the nap, we watched the show, and then we watched Spill It Boy TV play bingo, and we fell asleep to that. And so that, like, I paused it, but that's literally what's on the TV, and he's just like laying in the room.
I was watching Spiller Boy play bingo too. I told him we need to win us some money. But anyway, so you said, first of all, happy birthday. For those of you, yesterday was Lucy's birthday. That's why we didn't do our live yesterday, because she was, doing birthday things. So how was the birthday? Uh-oh, did she freeze up? Hello? Did I freeze up? Uh-oh. I think she's frozen, y'all.
No, say it again.
I said, how was the birthday?
It was chill. I worked.
You worked? Oh, girl.
Yes.
All right. Well, let's get into this episode. How did you feel about this episode?
I'll let you start because I think the reason I took my nap was because I watched the show.
Oh, dang. It was that boring for you? Oh, wow. Okay. Well, it is. Well, we're working out the kinks. There is still a little bit of a delay, but we're going to work it out, you guys. Sometimes it's just the internet and StreamYard and all of that stuff, but we're going to work it out. But listen, so I'm going to be honest with you. This is, I didn't think it was a horrible episode. I just think that I didn't think it was a horrible episode, but I don't know. I thought it was a pretty good episode.
But
I'm not gonna say that. Well, I'm frustrated because I do feel like they let Bren get away with a lot. Like, that was something that came up in this episode. And I do feel like they let Bren get away with a lot, because I do feel like she is a unnecessary pot stirrer. And like, I don't know how much of this is her real personality and how much of this is her doing the reality TV thing. Like, I don't know.
Mm-hmm. But I think part of it is that she maybe does certain things off camera. And so we just usually see the fallout for I think her worst crimes. I feel like we usually see the fallout because we don't know what led up to whatever this carbon monoxide email text message was. We just keep hearing about it this episode. And then, like, yes, you do see some of her, I guess, like her like little mean girl antics, or like her being a little bit cold. Like, I felt like she was cold with Aaron and whatnot, but I feel like everybody
very callous, very cold. Yes.
So far, everybody talks about how she doesn't seem like she wants the girls to get close and be friends without her. She more so wants the individual closeness with the other girls to her specifically, but maybe only with certain girls. And if she truly does do that, that doesn't show up on camera yet, in my opinion.
I don't think it's, and I agree. I don't think her.
Do you see that?
No, I don't think what she does is her not wanting the other ladies to be friends. I think she just wants to be the center of the friend group. I think she wants everything to.
I'll say that. Yes.
That's how I feel.
Yes.
But anyway,
she's that girl.
Go ahead.
She's that girl who tries hard to get main character energy.
I agree. I agree 100%. I agree 100%. So this episode starts off. We get more information. We got a lot more information about what's going on with Aaron. And we found out her mom's cancer is probably more than what they originally thought. She said that her mom wasn't supposed to have chemo, but now she is going through chemo. And Aaron, we found out that Aaron is the only child between her mom and her dad, that her other siblings are through her dad's second marriage, and that her and her mom are really close. So we see her take her mom to a wig stylist, and what's the face came with them? The model. Oh, why I can't think of her name. The model.
Uba.
Thank you. So Uba came with them. Aaron and Uba have definitely developed their friendship because Lord, they were about to fight down last year where they were where were they last year at Antigua, and she's snatching glasses off of her face. So they've definitely come a long way. But Aaron, she even cut her hair. She said that she'll do whatever she needs to do to go through this journey with her mom. And I thought this was a cute moment, and I thought it was, especially just being Breast Cancer Awareness Month, I definitely thought this was a really great moment. I don't know, what'd you think?
I thought it was okay. Like, I thought it was nice that she was trying to be there for her mom. I was just like, okay.
All right, you weren't that impressed. But I thought it was a great story. But we also start to find out a little bit more about what's going on with her husband. We get the full story later on, which I still don't think we have the full story, but we get what's going on a little bit later on. But in that moment, basically she's opening up to Uba, and Uba's like, well, I want to be there and I want to be there to support you, but I really still don't know what the hell is going on. Like, I still don't know. But we'll get to that later on. That's a whole story, baby. That is a whole story. So then we see Sai meeting up with Jenna, and Sai is again apologizing to Jenna, but she's sort of still blaming Bren. How do you feel about this scene?
So I made a note, and I said, can we call it an apology tour yet? Because last episode she started with Jessel, and now she's on to Jenna. And I get it, you want to rehab your image, but I don't know. To me, it definitely feels calculated. And it's like, Jenna, let her know. Aaron wasn't the only person. I mean, not Aaron. Bren wasn't the only person who said this. So it's like, you want to rehab this mean girl image, but girl, just say you talked crap. So what? Like, it shouldn't matter who told her. You were talking crap about her. Like, if you're gonna be a mean girl, just own it.
I feel like that's who she. Okay, so here's how I feel. Mel says, I want Uba to be there at the beauty shop replacing that blonde wig. You mean the blonde wig in her confessional, or are you talking about Aaron's mom's wig? Because I felt like the second wig Aaron's mom put on was a lot better than the first one. But if you're talking about Uba's confessional look, I'm not sure how I feel about that blonde. I like it, but then I don't like it. I don't know. I'm on the fence with it. Not Sai has little man syndrome.
Her wig was she needed a nice lace front.
Yeah, the wig was. I like the second. Like I said, the second one was a lot better. Sai definitely gives off. And I'm gonna say this about Sai. I do think that Sai. Oh, Uba's wig. Okay, I do think that Sai definitely was Mean Girl last year. I think she saw how it played on camera. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know if I'm buying the whole therapy thing. I really think that she saw how it played on camera. She saw how the fans were dragging her and talking about her, and she realizes that she's got to be a softer, gentler. But I agree with you. Just be like, girl, listen, because she did say, I talked shit about you last year because I didn't know you, and I didn't allow myself to get to know you. Just leave it there. Because once Jenna said, girl, Bren was not the only person telling me you was talking about me. There were multiple people. Then that means that you would walk. Then that means that this was a multiple people thing. Girl, just let it go. Just say, you know what? I'm sorry. I did. I talked shit about you last year, and I am so sorry. And that is that. Like, just leave it there. So I agree. But yeah, the apology tour is definitely in full effect.
And then exactly. And then on top of that, after that, she says, well, y'all let Bren act a fool and y'all don't give her any repercussions. So it gave deflection as well to me.
Right. Because again, do I think that they let Bren get away with stuff? Yeah. And I think they let Bren get away with stuff because of how Bren says it. She says it with a smile and she says it kind of catty. And then she always goes, but I'm just joking. And I think because of her delivery, people let her get away with it. Whereas with Sai, it's a brash, in your face, Brooklyn, kind of thing. So I also think that has a lot to do with it. I love Jenna. I love Jenna. Mim said Jenna is boring, but I guess they need a rich woman. I'm gonna say this. I will say this. I feel like this reboot of New York has given us a cast of legit people. Like, we know who the hell Jenna Lyons is. We know who Sai is. Aaron is definitely well established in the real estate community in New York. We're not sure about Jessel, but it's, okay, whatever. We still don't know how Bren makes her money, but clearly it's not a sugar daddy, so we're going to let that be what it is. But I definitely feel like and this cast has some solidified, established New York people that are moving and shaking in the industry, in their industry. So I was surprised that Jenna came back. I was definitely surprised that Jenna came back this season. But she there, child. She there. Casey said, I'm with Janae. I fell asleep on this episode as well.
And honestly, I think I read somewhere that Jenna Lyons said she only came back because they got an older housewife, Raquel, to join.
She said that on the Clubhouse last week.
I could have done with or without. Like, Jenna doesn't make or break.
She doesn't, but she doesn't, but I'm glad she came back because I do feel like I feel like Jenna did what this show was supposed to be. Like, she used this show to sell her shit last year. Like, I'm not mad at her about that.
I was about to say
right, I'm not like
last
I wanted one of them gift bags. Right, I wanted one of them gift bags. She was always giving something away. Yeah, like I wasn't mad about it.
But it came across as tacky. It was tacky.
Bren's face looked like someone's second on the limit. She is a uniquely pretty girl. Huh, interesting. Y'all, this is just the second episode that has to be a build-up. Well, I'm not even criticizing storylines or anything at this point. I'm just talking. We're not even talking about. Oh, you're talking about people saying it was boring, a boring episode. Listen, you can build up a storyline. I didn't think it was boring, so I mean, I was okay with it. Like I said, I was. I'm gonna be honest with you. Salt Lake City is boring me. This is not boring me. Jenna hides her real personality for the camera. She's considering her career. She's not as awkward nor nice. Oh, okay. All right.
I agree. I don't think that she's probably as awkward as she pretends. Like, I feel like that's the role that she's comfortable playing.
I think she's as awkward. I don't think she's as nice. You were a powerhouse in the fashion industry. You were the editor, like you were the HNIC. Well, she wasn't the NIC, but you were like the head person in charge over at LLB for a really long time. Like, I do not think she's as nice as she pretends to be. Now that I don't believe. I don't think she's a 100 like 24/7 bitch. But I definitely she wasn't running LLB the way we see her on camera, quirky, indecisive. I don't know. Like, come on, you made 50,000 decisions a day. Girl, stop. So, yeah, I agree with that part. I mean, I'm sorry. I'm saying LL Bean, J. Crew. My bad, y'all. My bad. I'm J. Crew. J. Crew. Sorry. All right. Well, honestly, in that same, I feel the same way. I feel like Si's apologizing and taking it back all at the same time, which really annoys me. Like, it annoys, if you're going to apologize, just apologize. It annoys me. Then we see Uber working out. Who cares? Don't care about it. Do you care about Uber working out? I don't care about Uber.
No, and I just realized I didn't even take notes. Definitely didn't care.
Yeah, don't care. I mean, it was a throwaway. I don't know. It was a throwaway scene. So then we see Raquel at home with her family. I feel like this was just a scene for us to like get to know her and her girlfriend a little bit more. Now her girlfriend is a doctor. She's like a neuro therapist, something. I don't know.
It was something with a fancy long title.
Right. I mean, when I say a doctor, I don't know if she actually is a doctor, but she's something, a neuro something. Yeah, it's something fancy with a long title. Don't know.
Forensic neuro something.
Yeah, it's a neuro something, but basically what we found out is that they spent a lot of money on their dog and Raquel can't cook. So she's a neuropsychologist. So yeah, so she is a psychologist. She's okay, so she may not necessarily be a doctor as a psychologist, but yeah, okay, she does something. But what we found out is that they spend more money on their dog than they spend on themselves, I guess. As a dog owner, could you feel their pain on the dog stuff?
Not more than my kids, but I said that her family was, and I said that steaks for the dog and Chipotle for the kids is crazy.
Yeah, I think it's crazy too.
I would never.
What about the massage? Is Benji getting any dog massages anytime soon?
You said what soon?
Is Benji seeing getting any dog massages anytime soon? Their dog gets massages.
No. Benji has cost me enough. Benji is on a spending freeze.
That should have put Benji on the. You done put Benji on the budget.
If he said Benji
Benji does get homemade cookies, though. You're right. Benji gets homemade treats. You are absolutely correct. Mm-hmm. All right. So then we have Aaron going to visit.
And he gets massages from me.
Massages from you? Okay. My dog eats well, loves sprinkle cupcakes, and has gotten a doggy massage. I'm embarrassed now. No, don't be embarrassed, ma'am. You spoiled. I know you spoiled
your embarrassed. Don't be embarrassed.
Because listen, Benji is on a spending freeze for a reason. Let's be clear. For a reason. Anyway. Aaron is at her. Bren is at her apartment. Aaron is coming by to visit. First of all, why is Bren so petty? Why she pour that girl tap water talking about something she don't deserve? She don't deserve bottled water. We're gonna give her this good tap water after she walk up 10 flights of stairs because my elevator is broken. Like, what? I don't know. What you think about this scene?
Well, Aaron said that she was a city person. So if she's a real city person, I'm sure she's had tap water before. She'll be fine. Reception to her, because I felt like if you were going to invite her into her house, like, have a conversation, be open. I felt like she was like still trying to be cheeky, but she wasn't still being warm and inviting. Like, it bothered me that Aaron came into her home and Bren wasn't at the door to greet her. She was still on the couch. Like, that bothered me. It was just, I felt like, get up. Where are your manners?
The whole thing was rude to me.
But yeah, I felt like she was still trying to punish her.
Yeah, she definitely was. I thought the whole thing was rude. And even when she was like, even when she told her why she cut her hair, Bren was just like, oh, like, girl, I cut my hair, and you know my mother is battling cancer. Like, you know what's going on with my mom. So, like, that's all you got. And I just felt like even when Aaron was sitting there crying, and like she was just sitting there looking at her like, I'm sorry. Sorry to hear that.
That part. Hug your friend.
I couldn't believe she did. Like, I'm not great with emotions. Like, I'm awkward when people are crying. I don't always know what to do. But I do, usually try to put my arm out. Like, come here. Like, I offer a hug. Do you want to? Like, she was just sitting on the couch with her phone. Like, oh, okay. So I don't know. But
yeah, I didn't like Bren's response in that.
Yeah, I didn't either.
I didn't like it.
And I'm gonna be honest, and maybe because it's not me. Maybe it's because it's not me. But me personally, I didn't understand why Bren was so upset, because first of all, Aaron absolutely defended her at the beginning. Aaron was like, no, I don't think she has anybody paying her bills. And then Jeff Lewis like kept going and kept going. And she was like, she never agreed with him. She never said yes. And she was like, well, you should have defended me. You should have said something. It was embarrassing. But my thing is, but you have said some embarrassing things about other people, and you have made comments about other people. Like, I just find it funny when people can dish it, but they can't take it. Girl, it was a joke. It wasn't that fucking serious. And maybe because it wasn't about me. I get it. But I felt like Jeff Lewis jokes, he makes snarky comments about Housewives all the freaking time. And for that to have been 8 months earlier, like literally, girl, I could see if it had happened like 2 weeks before. 8 months? You still mad?
So I would say, honestly, look, I'm sure somebody can say I hold on to a grudge. So 8 months, I'm not bothered by it. I'm bothered more so that she's taking her aggression out on Aaron versus Jeff Lewis. I'd rather her like base this conversation on, well, me and Jeff got into a Twitter fight after what he said, because I felt like you didn't do enough, but try to shut it down a bit. Like, yeah, she could have did more, but how many of us are perfect? And also, I'm sure she doesn't have media training. Like, she did what she could in the moment. Like, give her a break if that's really your friend.
Right. Like, I could see if Aaron went along with it. Yeah, I could see if Aaron went along with it, or Aaron made a joke and was like, well, she does keep a man. Like, I could see if she played into the joke, but Aaron was like, no, I don't think so. Like, so I don't know. I just felt like if it was really bothering you that much, girl, like, have the conversation 8 months. Now I know they did have the conversation, but the fact that you are still holding on to it. And then Bren admitted that that's why she sort of said what she said about, what you said about Jenna not having any money. Like, she admitted that came from a place of like she was still mad. You know what I mean? Like
yes.
So you admit that you were stirring the pot because you were still mad.
Yes. And I will say, I do feel like in the background with some of the other girls, hey, we're tired of Bren. Maybe let's take Bren this season. But also, I feel like Bren is giving material for people not to like her this season.
I don't know. Okay. What happened next? Oh, so they were still talking about this. So Aaron opens up about her mom. Does she open up about her husband at this time? Does she start talking about her husband?
She said that he sold the Bitcoin. And she found out that it was debt from the handbag business.
Here's what I don't understand. this is somebody that you literally just made up with. Do you really think I'm about to tell you what's going on with me between me and my husband and our marriage? Like, girl, you don't get that information. Like, we just got back on speaking terms. You don't get to know what's going on with me and my husband and in my house. I don't know. I thought that was weird that Aaron would just immediately turn around and then open up to, like, it was almost like all of it. I don't know. It was weird to me. They like literally, it was like they literally, I don't know. It was like the fight never happened. And now you telling me what's going on with my husband. And once again, Bren is flirting with that woman's husband. Did we not have a whole thing last year about you flirting with that woman's husband?
I think she was being fake.
You think she was being fake? What'd you say? Child, I don't know what is going on with Nate's internet tonight. What is going on? What you saying?
I was saying that Brim was being fake. I think that her way of dealing with the argument or like dealing with the awkwardness was to try to go back to what she was comfortable with, which is flirting and talking about Abe.
Maybe. I guess, because like I said, girl, you like we had a whole thing last year about you flirting with this woman's husband, and here we go again. Like, here we go again with you flirting with this woman's husband. I don't know. Like, again, it goes back to me just saying Bren does whatever she wants to do. It's like she has no regard for anybody else's feelings, because I feel like they told you that you went too far and you were doing too much. And here you are again. I'll take care of him. I got him. And I get it, it's tongue in cheek, but if I already tell you that you're doing something that's bothering me, I need you to not do it. Whether you think it's a joke or not, whether you're just joking and you don't mean it. I literally am telling you it bothers me. As my friend, I need you to respect that. I don't know. Maybe I'm being too hard on Bren. I don't know.
About Bren.
Say that again. You went out.
I said, I think that that's fair about Bren, because last season there were multiple incidents and Aaron expressed how she felt. And she said that it made her feel comfortable for her to talk about her husband like that. So you should stop.
She told you. And I again, if you're my friend, you'll respect that. That's how I feel about it. If you're my friend, you'll respect it. But anyway, so then we see Jenna going out with her son to go rock climbing. I really didn't care about this either. Like, I get it. He's going away to college. You're trying to have some experiences with him. But I didn't care about this at all.
I didn't care either.
Okay, well.
I like the whole scene, honestly, was arranged so they could show the arrival of her new Bentley. Because why is your Bentley being delivered to the rock climbing?
Can I tell you that Bentley was more exciting than anything else that with that scene? That Bentley is beautiful though. Like, that thing is gorgeous. The color, it is gorgeous. But you're right. I think that whole thing was so we could see her Bentley being delivered, because like, first of all, you're going to get in that brand new $300,000 car and them sweaty ass clothes you just got finished climbing the wall in? I don't think so. No, ma'am. I don't think so. So the next scene we see Aaron with Abe. We see Aaron with...
She didn't.
I don't know why she keeps freezing up, girl. We got to figure out something. You keep freezing up. We see Aaron with Abe, and we found out what Aaron and Abe have been fighting about. And I thought it was another woman, but it wasn't. Abe is spending money that Aaron didn't know about, and Aaron found out that he cashed in their Bitcoin and did some other things, because that was the example. But she said he's been doing other things with money. Without telling him. She didn't know about it until she went to go she wanted to use the money for some other stuff and the money was not there. She said, and not only did he spend the Bitcoin without talking to her, he spent it way too soon, so they didn't maximize the profit that they could have made, which I'm sure pissed her off more than him spending it. What do you think about this? Because I have some thoughts, but I'm gonna let you tell me what your thoughts are.
So when she first mentioned that he did something behind her back, I thought that it might have been business related. And so I'm glad that when she revealed it, it was like at least money related. However, I felt like that was a yellow flag because I feel like this is how things start. And he, right now he has an honorable excuse or reason that he's saying that he's doing that. I should have behaved better. But to me, I didn't like it because that lets me know how you perform under pressure. And when you're under pressure, you don't communicate with me. You don't trust me enough to work through something together. And so you're willing to, I feel like, undermine the decisions that we make as a unit. And then we have a conversation and you say, well, we don't really know each other because like we got married so early. And now I'm just trying to live up to whoever mysterious person used to fly you out all the time. I thought that was kind of strange, that portion.
So this is what I feel like. I feel like all of that I agree with that. First of all, I think he's done worse with the money and he's covering it up. I think he's made some serious mistakes with their money and he did those things to cover it up because what he said, and I don't think either Aaron chose to ignore it or she just didn't pay attention to what he said. But when he was like, basically, I've been trying to maintain this lifestyle that I think you expected. So what it sounds to me is that he's robbing Peter to pay Paul to provide her a lifestyle that he thought she expected because of the way she was living when he met her. And instead of just being like, look, girl, I can't fly you in a private jet. I can maybe get you in first class sometime. But if you want first class, you're going to have to put in on it. Like, I feel like she didn't hear what he was saying. And what she was saying was, what he was trying to tell her was, listen, I am drowning trying to keep up this facade, this lifestyle you want. And I feel like he's done worse with the money. And that's why I'm like, to me, it's a bigger, because here's the thing, for him to sell it, the Bitcoin, like I have friends who bought Bitcoin, and for him to sell it before it was fully like years ago, she said he sold it a long time ago. It almost sounds like he barely let it dry before he sold it off, which tells me that was a desperate situation. You know what I mean? And it was almost like Aaron didn't hear him. She was like, okay, well, you just got to do better. And I'm like, you didn't hear a word that man just said to you. You did not hear a word he just said.
Yeah, I thought that was suspicious.
Yeah, and I feel like
this isn't. I feel like isn't the end of that issue in their marriage.
Mm-hmm. I agree. And again, I agree for that exact reason, because she didn't listen to what he said and she was just like, okay, well, don't do it again. And I'm like, you're not understanding why he did it to begin with. This wasn't, he was paying off the bills and this, that, and the other, but I feel like it was more to that story. And I feel like it's probably like she said other things, which tells me it's more money missing. You know what I mean? And don't get me wrong, I'm not defending him. He was wrong for doing it. But I think they're not dealing with the real issue. I just don't think they're dealing with the real issue, in my opinion.
And you know what? It's making me think about how this whole broke money comment, of course, Bren blew it up, but it came from, it originally came from Aaron, and now it seems like, well, Aaron, are you the one who's actually going to end up having the money problems?
Probably. And Aaron
So that'll
did
be interesting to
admit,
see how that plays out.
right, and Aaron did admit that when they were in Anguilla, that that Jen did open up to them, that there were times when her money was funny and things were tight. But that makes sense. You went through a divorce, like you were a single mom. Like, I understand that money probably was funny at one time. So she said that's another reason why it bothered her that that Bren said that, because they did have that because Jenna did open up to them about her past and having money problems in the past. So, like, and I said, well, that definitely understands why you got, because I would be even more upset if me and my friend group, somebody confided something and then somebody used it as a dig later on to try to get at me. Like, I could definitely understand, that. We're going to the Hamptons again, to Aaron's house. Why would Aaron do this to herself again? Girl,
I think she knows it'll make for good TV.
I guess, because I'm just like, why are you doing this to yourself again? Like, girl, like last year did not go well at all. And don't get me wrong, like y'all could go somewhere else. Like, y'all don't have to go to the Hamptons. Like, Aaron, y'all can go somewhere else, girl. I don't know, like, but whatever. So they're going to the Hamptons again. And Aaron said they're renovating the kitchen, and she don't even know if they're gonna have a kitchen. I said, the way they complained about food last year, you don't even know if you're gonna have a kitchen.
Uber Eats.
Child. So Uba and Scott and Sai, they go out and they're talking about Bren, and they're talking about how they feel about Bren, and they are still mad. Sai is still talking about Bren. It's all about Bren. And Uba is like, yeah, it's all about Bren. And Bren. I feel like that whole conversation was just how much we hate Bren. Like, I don't know. What do you think? How you feel about it?
Honestly, I didn't care. Like, I could tell that they were fed up with Bren at this point already. Mind you, we're only on episode 2, and they seem like they're very fed up with Bren. And honestly, I'm a little fed up with Bren just because they're so fed up with Bren. So I didn't care too much. It was just like, okay, I feel like we've already been hearing a lot of this. We can move on.
Right. The ladies are taking a helicopter, but Uba and Sai. Uba said, I'm driving, girl. She said, I want my car. I want to be able to leave if I'm ready to leave, because these girls are good date. Because these girls, I feel like now that Uba got a man, she don't care about none of this. Like, I feel like she should have been a friend of the show, because I feel like she really is. I don't feel like she's clocked in, because she got her man in Connecticut. She even made a comment. Did you hear her say, I don't even live in New York anymore? Like, she is clocked out. I don't think she's clocked in. I mean, maybe we'll see something different as the season goes on, but she definitely seems clocked out to me.
No, I didn't. No, I didn't pick up that Uba said that about not living in New York anymore.
Yeah, because I think she's moving in with her boyfriend, or she's at his house all the time or whatever. So she made a comment about, I don't even live here anymore. When she was in her confessional, in one of her confessionals, she said that. So they're driving up, and they're at this helicopter. Did you catch the product placement? They're flying on a helicopter company called Blade. Did you notice that Bren was wearing a Blade hat when she was at her apartment talking to Aaron? And then that's the helicopter company that they're flying to the Hamptons on. I said, okay, Bren, you better get your product placement in.
No, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, I noticed it when I noticed it when they were, I said, when I saw the company, I said, wait a minute, that's the hat she had on when they were sitting in her apartment. I said, okay, I ain't mad at you, girl. So that's the company they're flying with. But Uba and Sai are riding up with Uba, and Jenna is driving her brand new Bentley, and she didn't even tell them. She was like, oh, she was like, I didn't know I had to tell you I wasn't riding with you. Like, I'm not going. And I was like, that's rude, Jenna. You knew that. Now, Jenna, that was rude. It's okay that you don't want to get on the helicopter, but girl, you could have said something.
I thought Jenna told Sai, or I thought she made a comment saying like, "Oh, Sai didn't tell you guys I wasn't coming."
Maybe,
but maybe she didn't.
But it's still, I mean, even in that, if that were the case, I don't think that was Sai's responsibility, girl. You tell them you're not riding. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that was rude. I think that was rude. So, anything else? Okay, Yana said that's what she said. So maybe Sai was supposed to tell her then. I don't know. I'm sure we'll talk about it in the Hamptons because I'm sure Bren is gonna bring it up again. So especially if it was supposed to be Sai. I'm sure she's gonna bring it up again. What about when they were on the helicopter and they start asking what's the fashion designer?
Rebecca.
They start asking Rebecca about Scientology. I thought that was rude. I know that people we know about Scientology and stuff, but like to me, that's the same as like because Scientology, that is people's faith. So like I feel like if a Jewish person was sitting there, would you ask them, so what's up with Israel and Palestine? Like how you feel about that? Like you care to speak on that? Or talking to a Baptist person, or like I feel like that was rude.
I think when you put it that way, like with Israel and Palestine, like that's probably a good perspective to look at it because they definitely just like had her in this helicopter, like, so Scientology, what should we say? And then she gave them like, you know, a generic response, and that wasn't good enough for Bren. But I do like how like this isn't the time or place for this conversation, but also it's like you shouldn't have asked her that anyway.
Right. Like she said, well, if anybody has questions about Scientology, they can ask me. Like, what do you mean? Like, I'm not
I thought it was
like,
awkward.
I thought it was real awkward. And I'm like, she's not the spokesperson for the whole Scientology religion. Like, I mean, we all know and have heard things about Scientology and it being a cult and all these different things. But I just think that's rude when you have somebody that practices that faith sitting in front of you and you come at them like, so what's up with this science? Because that's what Brent said. She said, so what's up with this Scientology thing? What do you mean? That's that woman's faith. Whether you agree with it or not, whether you think it's a cult or whatever you might think, that was the way she asked, I thought was rude. She was like, so what's up with this Scientology thing? I was like, Scientology thing? I don't know. I thought it was rude for her to speak on it the way she did. I just thought that was rude.
Yes, and I also think that everybody's confessional for the most part, I thought they all kind of had like shady responses about it. Like especially Jenna.
Yeah. And again, I feel like, and again, as somebody who, I mean, I've definitely talked about Scientology. I watched like the Lisa Rinna, I mean, not Lisa Rinna,
but yeah, that's it.
The Leah Remini. Like I've watched all of those and I definitely have thoughts on Scientology. But if I were working with someone who was a Scientologist, I don't think I would approach it that way because I think I would respect that that's their opinion. You know, like, I mean, not their opinion, but that's their faith. Whether I like it, agree with it, or whatever. And I just feel like you wouldn't have done that if she were a Jehovah's Witness. You know what I mean? I don't know. I just felt like it was rude. I don't know. But it's interesting to see how, because it sounds like they're going to make it a thing, which I just don't know what y'all expect this woman to say.
Yes, and I think that we're most.
What'd you say? I'm sorry. I didn't hear the last part.
But yeah, I think we were seeing Bren just like another example of her doing the most. But yeah, that's where they end up leaving it off at.
Yeah, that was the end of the episode. So look, I didn't think the episode was horrible. I understand that you and Benji took a nap. Like, I get it. But I didn't think it was horrible. I do think we got to build up into the episode. It will be interesting to see where we go from here. Looks like the Hamptons is about to be lit. Looks like this is where Bren and Uba, I guess, start their descent of their relationship. So it'll be interesting to see what happens in the Hamptons. What was I getting ready to say? That was pretty much it. I thought it was something I was going to say, but I think that's pretty much it. Anything else you want to add about this episode?
No, I mean, I thought it was okay, but again, I do feel like it put me to sleep. So hopefully next week is better.
All right. Well, hopefully Benji will grace us with his presence next week. Like mother,
yes,
like
son. He's still laying down.
Oh, I'm sure he is, because that's what he does. That is what Benji does. Like mother, like son. We know, because we know what his mama does. Anyway, all right, boo. Yes. Well, enjoy your birthday weekend, and we can ready to get out of here, you guys. Have a good evening. Talk to y'all later.